TGIF, happy Friday from Cocktails and Chaos. So, this little podcast video, Dan and I were just listening to something earlier today, and it had things about unpopular opinion. And him and I were kind of like, a lot of this stuff is popular opinion. So, I'm going to run through some of them because I'd love to know what your guys' take is on this, because I totally feel like a lot of this is a popular opinion with people. So I'm going to dive right in. So the first thing, being late is disrespectful, not a personality trait. Bam, wrong, zero, nope. If you are consistently late, it's disrespectful, it's rude, and it's definitely a personality trait by now if you're still always late. I hate to say it, but I do have a few friends who are always late, and you guys know who you are, and it drives me nuts. But it's a personality trait. That's your personality trait. But it is annoying and rude, so change it. I love you, but change it. So that's my take on that. If you borrow something, return it without being asked. Yes. Whenever I borrow anything, I always return it immediately. My girl Sherry, she'll tell you whenever I've borrowed anything from her, I instantly return it. Actually, funny story, I just borrowed my sister's paddleboard this weekend, and I told her I was going to drop it off to her yesterday when I went to go visit my dad, because they both live in Dunedin, and I forgot. So sorry, Steffi, I forgot, but I will get it to you this weekend. But I am big on that. I am big on, if you borrow something, return it. I shouldn't have to ask. If you have something of mine, borrowed it, which there are people that have borrowed stuff from me that I still don't have back, and I'm sorry, but it is annoying and rude. I should not have to ask or beg for something that you borrowed to give back to me. So that's my take on that. Ghosting is immature, 1000%. Unless, and I actually did mention this in another video, if you're dealing with somebody that's creepy, then I don't blame you. Ghost the hell away. They deserve it if they're being creepy and weird. But we're mature. We're adults. If you're ghosting somebody because you set up a date and you just don't feel like going it on anymore, and you don't want to tell them, just freaking tell them, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm just not interested anymore. I don't want, whatever. But this is the day and age of ghosting, and I'm not going to lie. I have been known to do it before too, for like uncomfortable situations. Not so much now, but in the dating scene when I dated, I would just ghost too. So it is what it is. Let's see here. Being brutally honest is usually just an excuse for being rude. I don't know if it's so much for being rude. Maybe for some people it is them being rude, but I think it's an arrogance. I think people that are like, well, I'm just being brutally honest, I think that just is like an arrogance about them. Like they just think they're like on a higher up on you or something, like, well, I'm better than you. So that's my take on the brutally honest whole part. Just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean they hate you. True, true, true. You can have disagreements with family, friends, loved ones, and it's okay, because we're all different. We don't have to have the same opinion or agree on everything. Politics for one. We all have friends with the opposite political beliefs, and we're still friends with them. There's a reason. So let's see here. Some friendships are meant to expire. Very popular opinion. I think people come into your life for a reason, but I also feel not everybody needs to stay, and there's reasons why they shouldn't. So I won't go any further on that, but yes, I think some friendships are meant to expire. You can disagree with someone and still respect them. That kind of goes along with that. Yes, I totally agree with that. This one's funny. Crocs are comfortable, but they're still ugly. Agree. They're so freaking ugly. I guess they're comfortable. My daughter loves them. My 14-year-old loves them. She's been wearing them forever. I know a lot of people that wear them, but I'm going to agree they're still freaking ugly. I still have not been able to jump on the Croc train. Slide train all day long. I love slides. I'm a heel girl, but if I just want to throw something on, I'm sliding it. But Crocs, no, I'm not crocking it. Not crocking it. Haven't yet, anyways. Self-checkout should come with an employee discount. I gotta I'm like 50-50 on that, because yes, because we're doing the work, like nobody's doing it for us, but in the same sense, I like self-checkout because I can go bam, 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 bam. Like, I'm too impatient to wait in line, and I can just get through a lot quicker. So I'm kind of 50-50 on that. I don't know if that's really a unpopular or popular opinion. Confidence is more attractive than looks. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say I think men are 50-50 with that, because a lot of men do say that confidence is sexy. But then there's the other 50% of men who are just looks driven and physicality driven. So I'm going to leave that one up. That's a total men one, because us women, most women are not basing men off looks. Some do. They do have that physicality too, but I think most women want that confidence, masculinity, and compatibility over looks. That's my take on that. Success isn't about money. It's about freedom. That's like 50-50. Some people it is about money, and some people it is about freedom. And I think for most it's probably a little of both, honestly. Personally, I would just say it's a little of both. It's about money and freedom, obviously. So I don't know if that's really an unpopular opinion or popular opinion. I think it's just however everybody feels about that. Loyalty shouldn't mean tolerating bad behavior. That is a popular opinion. That is by in no way means, shape, or form an unpopular opinion. I don't think anybody should think that's an unpopular opinion. Yes, accountability. Yes. Where is I lost it. Loyalty shouldn't mean tolerating bad behavior. 1 million, trillion, billion, zillion, 1,000%. Goes without saying. Some people confuse boundaries with being selfish. I don't know if selfish is the right word for that, but some people do confuse boundaries. I'm going to say instead of selfish, they confuse boundaries with being maybe holier than thou, because I've seen it with people. I don't think selfish, maybe some people do though, but I don't know. I don't think I've ever really seen it. Let's see here. You can disagree with someone and still respect them. That's like dumb. Yeah, like obviously I think it's a popular opinion. It's okay to say no without feeling guilty. That is so a popular opinion. But I think for most it is an unpopular opinion, because a lot of people do feel guilty if they say no to something, about whether it's going out or borrowing something or doing something. Like, they just have that guilt and feel like they have to say yes, and they hate it and they regret it. But no, say no. Like, you're your own person. No, I don't feel like going out. I'm not going to go out. No, you can't borrow this. Like, it's really, nobody's going to hate you or disown you or defriend you because you said no. And if they do, they're a piece of shit. They're not a good friend or a good person to have in your life to begin with, because you know damn well that same person is saying no to others for stuff. So hell no. Say no. Say no. Just say no. Ooh, I love this one. Because this one, Dan, especially when we first started dating, would tell me all the time, because I was the mom. Like, I always felt like, all right, we're going to go do stuff. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I was always, spending muco money going to do this, that, and the other. And Dan was always telling me, it's your job to be a good mother. It's not your job to have to entertain your children 24/7. Like, they need to learn to hang out together, learn to do things to entertain themselves. You can give them suggestions, but you do not need to entertain them 24/7. So this one might be an unpopular opinion for some people, for some parents. That used to be me. I always used to feel like, yes, it is my job to entertain my children. They are a little older though now. They're 12 and 14, so I'm gonna say maybe when they were younger, I felt more like that. But at their age now, they'll entertain each other. They'll hang out together, do stuff together. They can pretty much, figure out stuff on their own or with their friends or whatever. But I don't know. That might be an unpopular opinion for some parents. So that's a touchy one. Children learn more from watching you than listening to you. Hello. That's why actions speak louder than words. Yes, you can say something till you're blue in the face, but your actions are what are proving and showing to somebody, whether you're in a relationship or to your children. What's that saying? I think the saying is do as I say, not as I do. So that's actually kind of contradictory, but Because I've actually said that to my kids, do as I say, not as I do. But in reality, they're watching what you're doing. They're going to follow what you do, not what you say. So, I've been like more, especially with them getting older, and I'm teaching my 14-year-old kind of how to drive more so on a golf cart right now. She'll call me out on things when I'm driving, like if I didn't stay at a stop light or a stop sign for too long, or if the light was turning yellow and I still went, like she calls me out. So I, even more so now, tend to be really aware of what I am doing in front of my kids, because they are older and they are going to mimic you as parents. They are, and a lot of the shit I do, I do not want them mimicking. So I definitely have to be more aware of that too. And this kind of goes along with this. Independence is, where did it go? I keep on like looking away here. Independence should be taught earlier, 1000%. I've always been accused, especially when my kids were younger, that I coddle my kids, and I did. And I think a lot of parents do. I think especially a lot of single moms do. Being a single mom, I definitely coddled. But even when I was married, my ex-husband, he would always say I coddled. And I really don't think there's anything wrong with coddling to a point. But like I'll say, my son is 12. I taught him, he does his own laundry now for the last year. Both my kids do their own laundry now. I taught him how to do that. My 14-year-old, she's been cooking for years. She's just loved it, always been involved and wanting to do it. I just recently started teaching my 12-year-old son to cook. I pull him in the kitchen at least twice a week and let him read off a recipe and him go through the motions in doing it, because, I mean, even men should know how to cook, because, you know, they're going to be on their own someday too, and shouldn't rely on a woman, because it's not a woman's role, it's an adulting role. Like, it's a necessity for everybody. So yes, 100%. I definitely think that independence should be taught earlier. Closure is overrated. Sometimes their actions are your closure. Oh my God, I am like the biggest fan of that, because especially dealing with like some things that I've dealt in the past, like a lot of people with breakups are like, well, I need the closure because they're so hurting over it. And I think that the people that feel like they need closure from a relationship are the relationships that hurt them. Like, but you're never going to get the closure. What is the closure? Like, they still tell you that it's over, or, you know, move on. That's closure. You're still going to feel like you need closure. Closure is you moving on, whether it's a relationship or a job or whatever that was hurting you, and knowing that you're not allowing it anymore. So yes, closure is definitely overrated. You don't need it. Just move on. You're obviously over it or done with it for a reason. It's overrated. You don't need closure. Forgiveness doesn't require reconciliation. 1 million, trillion, billion, zillion, 1,000% on that one. You can forgive somebody, but you still don't need to reconcile. And even then, I'm not one of those people that are like, oh yeah, you should just forgive everybody and move on, and even if you don't reconcile. No, you do not have. If somebody really hurt you or tortured you or whatever, no, you do not need to forgive them. You could still be at peace and not think about them and move on with your life. But no, I'm not one of those people that believe, oh, forgiveness, you should forgive everybody. It's, you know, what God would want you to do. Maybe it is what God would want you to do. Maybe it's not. I believe in God. I'm Christian. I was raised Christian. But I still don't believe you need to forgive people, because most of the time people that were doing things to hurt you, they knew what they were doing. So if anybody needs forgiveness, they should be asking us for forgiveness, begging for it from the people that they hurt. Still doesn't mean that we need to forgive. So no, I definitely don't think forgiveness is a requirement at all. Let's see here. You don't need to attend every family gathering. Popular opinion. I am 1,000,000% think you do not need to attend every family event. Like, some families have things going on all the time. Some people love it. Some people love going to attend it. No, I don't feel like you have to attend every family gathering or every family event. It's not, if you're not feeling it, you don't feel good, you just don't feel like going, then don't go. It doesn't mean you hate your family or don't support them with whatever's going on. But no, I don't think I don't think you need to go to every family gathering. Not everyone needs access to you 24/7, 1000%. Your phone doesn't need to be at the dinner table. God, coming from a generation where before cell phones, my dad, when we had dinner, because we all sat together as a family for dinner, my dad would take the good old ringer off, the phone that hung on the wall with the coil cord. He would take the ringer off the hook when we had dinner. He didn't want to hear the phone ringing. We were not to talk to anybody. We were spending time as a family. And you know what? I think that's kind of like lost. Like, I don't think a lot of families do that anymore. I've even been guilty of it, and we've been kind of more trying as a family, sitting down together at the family table to eat dinner together with no phones and let's talk. I actually just recently have been trying to incorporate that. But I will say a lot, like sometimes I'll be eating at the couch or the countertop, and me and one of my kids will be at the countertop, Dan will be at the couch, I'll be at the table, like we're all just spread out, and that dynamic is just not what it used to be, and I hate it. Like, you don't realize you hate it until you really think about it. And so I'm definitely trying to incorporate that more into my family dynamic, because it is a lost way of the world or whatever. It's a generation. It's just, I think maybe it's generational. I don't know. I would love to know how many of you guys do actually sit at the table with your kids or your family, like, regularly. Like, is it like a lost generational habit, or do a lot of people still do that now? I'm actually really curious. Actually, I'm going to do a poll on that now, because I really am curious about that now that we're talking about it. Being loud doesn't make you right. Dan, oh, I wish he was out here to hear this, because let's face it, I'm a redhead, and I do have a knack for getting a little bit loud sometimes when I'm passionate about something, trying to get my point across. But it doesn't make me right. Just because I'm trying to get my point across doesn't mean I'm right. So I'm going to say that's a popular opinion. It's okay to change your mind when you learn something new or agree to do something. Absolutely. We're human. It's not a signed contract. You didn't, sign away your life because you agreed to do something. I think that's going to be a little of both, popular and unpopular, and I'll tell you why. Because this kind of goes with follow through, your word, like follow through. If you said you're going to do something, follow through. But in the same breath, just because you said you did it at the time, maybe you wanted to, but little phone storage issue, so sorry about that. So anyways, let's see here. I'm going to just do one more. Listening is more attractive than talking. Yes, I think it's more of a, like, showing interest in that person, like, let the person talk, listen. When it's your turn to talk and they show interest and that they're ready to listen to your point, then you do it. Yes, I think you should always, if somebody starts a conversation, listen, and then you'll have your turn to talk. But one more, saying thank you costs nothing. Love that, because so many people are so just lack common sense and are rude with that. Like, I've taught my kids that they say thank you to any and everything. If anybody hands them something, does something for them, gives them something, they instantly are appreciative and say thank you. One of my biggest pet peeves, if you're like, walking out of somewhere and you hold the door for people and they don't say thank you. I don't know why, but that bothers me. It's like, you can't say thank you. Like, you're welcome. Like, I'm standing here waiting for you to come through. Just say thank you. Like, that's one of the things that really, really bothers me. Like, I'm that person. I'll be like, oh, you're welcome. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do. That bothers me. So if somebody holds the damn door open for you, say thank you. It's not that hard. It takes literally a half a second to just say thank you. So on that note, that was just like a little fun round of popular opinion and unpopular opinion. On that note, cheers. Happy Friday. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Ta-ta for now.